Welcome to our call. I just want to remind you guys that next week we do not have a call. I don't know if you guys do stuff for Valentine's Day. We're not doing anything, but in case you guys want to, I don't want you to miss a call or whatever. So no call next week. I'm going to screen share and I'm just going to go. Okay. Jamie, give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Cool. Okay. So the topic for tonight is connect, invite, follow up. Let me do it full screen so you can see better. And these three pieces, these are the most valuable income producing activities. Everything that we do, from showing up on social media. I know I've talked about this often, but your social media is your storefront. So say you own like a brick and mortar store, and if your windows are black, people are going to think that you're not open for business. Or if you have like hats, pictures of hats on the outside of your store, but inside you sell shoes, like people are going to be so confused. Like they're going to come in expecting hats. You know what I mean? So your social media is your storefront. So posting matters. Also, adding people to grow your network matters, because if you're just talking to the people who you're currently friends with, you're going to run out of them. Let's see. Working on your own health and fitness is one of the most important things that you can be doing, is working on yourself and showing that you're doing it too, and being a positive influence on social media, sharing your journey so that you're truly being a product of the product. Personal development is huge. I really want to share with you guys this one like quick thing. So 2 days ago, well, last month, so I hit Success Club 22. I had pretty high numbers. That's not the highest I've ever had. And I'm currently at SC6 already in the month. But a couple days ago, I was literally crying to Jamie because I heard nothing but no. Like, no one even wanted any information. Everyone was like, no, thank you. I'm not interested. No, like not even any like, oh, no, thanks. Thanks for asking, but no, thanks. Just no. And so I was like, man, what is going on today? And I was just feeling down. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a terrible month. Things are going awful, blah, blah, blah. And so I was venting to Jamie. So like, I hear no too. I really want you guys to know that I hear no a lot. I get frustrated periodically. It happens. The most successful coaches hear no more than anyone. And so after I was just having an awful day, and like I wanted to cry, and I didn't even want to talk to Tyler. So then I started a new book, and I wasn't like full force in with my personal development. So I started this new book, and I literally, like, the analogy I used with Jamie is like when people surrender to God and they just like let it all out. That's how I felt like starting this book. I just let it all out, and it just hit home for me. And then the next day when I was talking to people, I didn't talk to people for the rest of the day. I was like, I'm not in the right state of mind to be talking to anyone. So the next day I started talking to people again, and I just could feel like so much more energetic, so much more excited when I was talking to people. And versus the day before, I felt like a sense of urgency and desperation, like I need a sale kind of thing. And people can sense that. So that's one reason personal development is so huge, to be able to do these three key income producing activities. So leading into that, connect, invite, follow up. These are gold. These are the core of your business, for your behind the scenes of messaging people and everything. So first, connecting. And this is like, I could do so many different trainings on these three topics, but so there's different ways of connecting, and I just want to do my best to give you different examples, because sometimes it's really awkward. There have been times where I'm like, what do I even say? Like, how do I connect with this person? How do I just start a random conversation? So I totally get it. I do. Like, I'm doing the work too, I promise. I'm not just telling you to do it and not doing it myself. So the first thing you can do is comment on their posts. This counts towards your number of connections per day. One way is CCQ. That stands for comment, compliment, question. So, maybe you don't do all three, but the more you ask questions when you're commenting on posts and they respond to your question, and you can potentially start a little conversation from that and hopefully move that over to private message and talk more. Or that just shows Facebook that you're better friends and they're going to see more of your posts. So that is really important, is commenting on posts. And I could say this till I'm blue in the face, and I'm sure you're like, I've heard this a million times. But just always keeping in mind to ask questions, and when possible, move it over into a private message. Common ground. So you hear a lot people say, hey girl messages. I know Jamie said it in last week's Instagram call. But so common ground, sending a hey girl message using CCQ, comment, compliment, question. Show interest when you're talking. Be excited when you're talking to people. I have so many people, I love you all, but even like some coaches who I love and like want to get to know better, who will talk to me like when I'm trying to like help them, or they'll ask me questions and they don't use any like excitement or just like thanks period. I'm just like, really? Like no excitement at all, just thanks period. So when you're talking to people, show excitement, because and very much so the way that you type it out, that's how I envision you saying it, like, thanks. Or I hate when people give me the thumbs up thing. Like, you can't just say thanks so much or thanks, exclamation point, just the thumbs up. So keeping those things in mind, they do matter, believe it or not. So some examples of hey girl messages with common ground. Hey, I saw that you were into hiking and from the Oshkosh area. I live around here too. I've never really been into hiking. I've never really been hiking, but I'm super interested in it and definitely hope to get out someday. Do you go often? And that's true for me. I don't go hiking, but I am super interested in it. I would definitely love to go out, but I haven't made time for it. So that's an example of common ground, that they're doing something that I have interest in. Another one, hey girl, I saw that you were a mom to a little girl and from the Oshkosh area too. I love the picture of your daughter jumping off the couch. How cute. How old is she? My daughter is almost 2 and gets a little more wild and daring each day. LOL. Like, this is how I talk in real life. So when you're talking to people, I don't want you to copy and paste these things. You're welcome to take a picture of this so you have examples and can look back on them, and maybe save it in a file for yourself. But this is how I talk. I talk to people and I try to write my posts as if I'm talking, and like I'll say them out loud after I type them. And there's times where it's like, okay, that's not something that I would say, that sounds so scripted. And people can feel that, you guys. I'm going to go to the next one. More examples. Oh my God, I love your cover photo. We're going to be traveling a lot over the next few months, and warm beachy weather is all that's been on my mind. LOL. Blair's making an appearance. Where was that at? Look out, honey. Yeah. I'll see you soon. Sorry about that. But so like we're going to be traveling a lot soon. And so when I see pictures of people traveling, or they're in warm beachy weather or whatever, like that's a common ground connection that I have at the time. Another one, hey girl, I saw your post about your fitness progress. Congrats, you look freaking amazing. How long have you been on your journey? All of you have common ground with fitness. I used to be so afraid to message anyone that was on some sort of fitness journey, or it looked like they were really into working out, because I'm like, oh, they're never going to want to hear any of this or whatever. I don't know. I was super afraid, but I've had so many good conversations talking to people, and a couple coaches on our team, like Rachel's, like correct me if I'm wrong, a health and wellness, like she coaches people with like healthy eating. And so she's like super into all this stuff. Meghan Thompson, or Strobel is her married name, is not on the call, but she's a certified personal trainer. And she wants to pursue coaching to get more of an income. And like, we have like super trainers, we have certified super trainers, we have awesome products, awesome programs. And coaching is another way for people who are into fitness already to take that to the next level and turn it into a business. But so at any time possible, if I see someone who's on a fitness journey, I'm going to make a connection. And maybe I'm not going to invite them right away, but we have common ground that we're both on a fitness journey. Okay. Next, likes on your fitness post. So when you're sharing about your fitness journey, progress photos, like posts that you're not asking for business for. If you're just sharing your journey, like sweaty selfie or before and after post, and people like it, go to the likes, click on the likes, and that list and name will pop up, and send those people a message. So an example, hey girl, thanks so much for the love on my transformation post. It's not always easy putting myself out there, so I really appreciate the support. Are you on a health and fitness journey too? And this is seriously a really great way into an invite, whichever way it goes. If they're like, yeah, no problem. No, I'm not, but I really like seeing your stuff. That's what I get that a lot. My next thing I say is, oh my God, you should join my next challenge group, girl. You would love it. And I get really excited and they're like, what's that? Or like, what is that? And then I tell them a little bit about it. So you do these workouts that are totally streamed online, so you can access them from anywhere. You get access to over 600 workouts and all of their meal plans and meal plan materials. And then our online support group to stay on track. It's seriously so much fun. Like, that's how I talk to people about this. I don't say, like, I'll get more into this in the inviting, but I don't say things like, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach. Would you like more info? Like, when people message me stuff, and I get it a lot with like It Works, Usborne books and stuff like that, it just feels really yucky. And I know a lot of people have come into coaching and they're like, well, I don't want to be salesy. Well, saying stuff like, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach, would you like more information? That is salesy. So that's why it's so important to connect, then invite, and follow up. But so this is a super easy one. Think about it when you're sharing your fitness journey, just making a post for the day and you see people liking it. Super easy connection and into an invite. And if they say yes, they're on a health and fitness journey, then you can ask them about it, talk a little more about it, and then you can squeeze in the, oh my gosh, have you ever considered coaching? You'd be great at it. You're already on your own journey. Well, we could get you into our coaching stuff, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I think I would stop at, have you ever considered coaching? You'd be great at it. But that's another, you can turn that into an invite, whether it's for coaching or for your challenge group. And if you're a coach who's not seen a lot of success yet, it's you like envision where you want to go. Think of the coach success stories you've heard. If you haven't heard any, make sure you're in the Coach Basics group and listening to them. But think about the coach success stories and envision where you want to go in this business and think of those possibilities. This is an amazing opportunity that takes time, yes, but the outcome is freaking amazing and worth fighting for, worth inviting people to join you for. Okay, now moving on to the invites. So connect, invite. So the transition, where do I go, connecting with people, how do I transition that into an invite? At any time, any connections that I'm having, I always try to find a way where I can ask what they do for work, and then when they ask me in return, I don't say I'm a Beachbody coach and period. Or I used to say like I'm a health and fitness coach, but that doesn't really say anything. So I say I run online fitness support groups to help women get started and continue on their fitness journeys. Not where I thought I would end up, LOL. What about you? Are you on any sort of health and fitness journey? And that could easily transition into a girl, you should join my next challenge group, or just connect a little bit more. But that's what I say. Like, I really didn't think this is where I would end up. I graduated with a double major in psychology and stats. So being a health and fitness coach is not where I thought I would go. So, I'm honest. I'm not lying about anything. And they asked me what it is that I do in return. So there's that with, I'll go back quick. Always trying to figure out, get a way to ask like what they do for work, or kind of what their day is like, or what their family is like. You want to ask as many questions as you can. Sometimes it kind of seems weird, or I've had people where I see that they do something on their Facebook, like, oh my gosh, I saw that you were a nurse. How long have you been doing that for? Or some way to get it in there. Or if the conversation just seems dead, I get these an obnoxious amount of time where I feel like I'm asking good questions, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be such an awesome conversation. Like, that was a great question I asked. This girl seems super nice. But then she's just like, blah, not responding, one-worded responses. And it's just like, okay, I don't want to like seem pushy, and this conversation sucks. It happens to everyone. So if the conversation seems dead, and you've tried a little bit, then you can jump into an invite, or just keep liking and commenting on their stuff if you're not comfortable with it. So we've had a little conversation, but it's just not going anywhere. And then I might be like, hey, Kelsey, I don't know if you're on a fitness journey or into the whole fitness thing at all, but I figured I'd reach out. I'm getting a group of ladies together to work towards our fitness/weight loss goals using at-home workouts. Is that something you're interested in at all? It's really like, it takes the pressure off. This isn't my favorite invite, but I've used it a few times, and some people are like, yeah, I'd check it out. Or they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I didn't respond to your last question. And they'll respond and be like, yeah, I'd love to check it out. Or they'll be like, oh, thanks so much for asking, but no thanks. Which is better than if you send someone a cold invite. A cold invite is where you've never talked to the person, you add them, and the first connection you have is you're inviting them to buy something. Whereas with cold invites, I used to do that because I didn't really have a coach to like show me what to do. And I was like, oh, if we're supposed to invite, I'm just going to invite everyone that I've ever went to high school with, even though I haven't talked to them in 5-10 years. And I got a lot of people that just never responded to me. I've had a couple of people tell me to F off. And it just hurt my feelings so much more versus having a conversation with them. They're a lot nicer if they're not interested. And that's okay if people aren't interested. Most of you didn't join your first time either. Or if the conversation's dead, this one's probably my favorite. So, hey Rachel, listen, I know we don't know each other, but given you're also on a health and fitness journey, I wanted to reach out. I've been on this 80-day fitness challenge that has taken my health to another level, and I've been seriously in love with the changes my body has made so far. I'm putting together an online challenge group with a group of ladies, and this seems like something that you might like. Totally no pressure. If I sent over more info, would you be interested in checking it out? Obviously, this is someone who seems like they're into fitness, and kind of like looks like they're already in good shape. I'm not afraid to reach out to those people because this 80-day obsession program is freaking amazing, and I don't care what fitness level, like how awesome people are at fitness, they'll love this program. Also, Jamie's really afraid to say, like, she thinks it's hilarious that I say listen, because that's how I talk. So I say that in messages. Listen, I know we don't know each other, but if that's not something that you would ever say, then don't say that. That's totally fine. Okay, then the follow-up. I just want to pause quick. Every time I screen share, it takes a minute to unshare or to minimize. Sorry, does anyone, while I'm waiting for this to go, because I can't see anyone right now, does anyone have any questions? Like, are you struggling somewhere? I promise if you're struggling somewhere that someone else probably is too, and I really, really want you to ask a question if you have it. Go through. No questions on inviting or connecting? Okay. If you do, type it in the chat and I'll get to it at the end. Please don't be afraid to ask. Like, please, please, please don't be afraid to ask. Oops. Okay. Okay. The follow-up. Now, you will hear the saying, the fortune is in the follow-up, and that could not be more true. I'm going to use Rachel as an example. Rachel and I were in conversation, and I followed up with her for a year. 1 freaking year. And she was telling me that she went back, or she just went back into our messages when she was talking to someone, and she's like, you followed up with me like 12 or 14 times. And she has really just taken off. Like, so many of you on here, like, I have followed up with you so many times because you seemed interested, and because I knew that you would love it. You have to follow up. All of my people that have joined me so far this month and last month were all from follow-ups. Yes, I've had some say yes on the first time, but more people are going to say no on the first time and say yes over time. You have to follow up with people. Don't be afraid. Okay, when should you follow up? So my rule, you do not have to follow this, is 2+ days after your initial invite. I just like to give them a little time to see the message and not be so in their face. So I give it 2 days after I send an initial invite. And then after we've had a conversation about it or whatever, whichever way it goes, every 90 days after that, until you get a hard no, stop messaging me, get out of my face, or even better, a yes. I follow up with people every 90 days then. Or when you see them showing up through your posts a lot, and I'll explain all of these. Okay, so 2+ days if no one responds, if no response at all. So you send an invite and they don't respond. I might say 2 days later, hey Megan, just checking to see if you got my last message. I know what it's like to see something and then totally forget. Super not like, hey, did you see my last message? Are you interested? Do you want to join me? Just super like short, easy, not too in their face. And that's if they didn't get a response at all. 2+ days if they did respond and you talked about it a little bit, you seemed interested, and then they kind of didn't really respond after that. I would say, hey girl, what are your thoughts? You seem super excited to work towards dropping 15 pounds and getting that booty lift. Is this something you're still interested in? When I invite people, after they say, yeah, give me more info, I usually like to either right away or give them a little information and then do this. But I want to know what their goals are, so that they see that I'm invested in them and I really want to help them reach their goals. So then when you follow up with them, you can relate it back to what they told you that their goals were. And then 90 days. So you've talked about it, whether they didn't respond or they weren't interested at the time or didn't have the funds or whatever the reason was that they did not sign up. 90 days. Spend some time when they come back up in your cycle, whether you use your pen and paper and you just scroll through who's up or what day, whatever, or you schedule follow-ups in your calendar on your phone, or use Asana. 90 days. Spend some time, when that time comes, spend some time commenting on their posts. So you're kind of like starting the cycle over, connect, invite, follow up. But it's really like connect, follow up. Send them a message asking a question about their life first if possible. So what I mean by that is, like, there are some people who've just been really excited, and I know that we've had some connections through posts, and then I'll just go right for the follow-up. But if it's been a while, and I've seen some of their posts and we haven't really been connecting, I'll try and like reconnect with them and ask like how their life is going. So maybe it's like, hey Michelle, just checking in. And this is like the follow-up. I'm putting my next fitness challenge group together and thought of you. Is this a better time? Again, super short, not pushy, not in their face. I'm just checking in, letting them know I'm putting my fitness challenge group together. I was thinking of them, asking, is this a better time? Because last time was not a good time. Another one, like if you, this is one that I use if people have been interested, but then like they see my follow-ups or my messages and don't respond. Hey Shannon, hope all is well with you, lady. I know I've messaged you a few times now without a response, so I totally don't want to be that annoying girl, LOL, but I also know you were totally interested at one point. Is the group something you'd still consider? I have a new one coming up with the All Access Pass and thought this might be a better time. Or, you know, something like that. So I'm letting him know, like, I know you've seen my message. I don't want to be annoying, but I know that you were really interested. I've said this a few times, and more often than not, I'll get a response from it. Another one, and then this one, So, hey girl, you were really super excited and we talked about it for a while. Then I never heard from you. Are you still interested? If not, no worries. But just let me know what I could have said better or explained in depth more, because I know this can help people and this is what I do for a full-time living. So maybe you could help me figure out how I could have explained it better. And usually I don't do this one a ton, but every time I do, people, they at least respond. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. No, you did an awesome job. I just don't have the finances right now, is usually what I've heard. But I've never gotten anything bad from this. So it's just another way that you can follow up depending on what your previous conversation was like. When they show up on your posts, meaning like you see them liking and commenting on your stuff or even just liking your stuff, this one is like gold for me when people are like, don't respond to me at all, but we're super excited. Hey Erin, I've seen you liking on some of my posts, but you keep ignoring me when I reach out. LOL, are you finally ready to take the leap and join the team? You'd be incredible if you give yourself a chance. What's holding you back? Like, I'm calling them out because I see, girl, I see you liking and stuff on my post, you know, and this is someone who was really excited and we've talked to a lot, and they just keep like ducking me, but they're still liking my posts and stuff. Every time I've sent this one, people have gotten back to me and either they've signed up or they give me like, there's like, oh, I want to so bad, but I just can't financially right now. Like, please don't give up on me. Like, I've never gotten bad feedback from using this. So this is probably one of my favorite ones that I use when I see people liking my posts and stuff a lot, but totally ducking me. Okay. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys. But like I said, connect, invite, follow up. That is what is going to get you hitting Success Club. That's what's gonna get you bringing on coaches by inviting coaches, doing those three things consistently, along with personal development and posting on social media and working on your own journey. Like, you have to be doing those things, but these really are the meat of like the behind the scenes of what all these top coaches are like sweating their, like putting all their blood into. Let's see. Rachel, what's your most successful way of answering? How much does it cost to get started? Rachel, I'm gonna unmute you. Do you mean like that's the first, sorry. Like, is that the first question they ask like before, or when do they ask this?
Like, let's say you've been talking already for a while. And then you say, like, I have a group starting on whatever date. Are you interested in joining? And they say, yeah, give me some more information. How much does it cost to get started? So do you go directly into talking about like all of the options, or do you just offer like the gold and then talk them down if they need to? I mean, Usually I've already talked with them, kind of like knowing what they're interested in, but I'm just curious what your input is on that.
So when they ask for cost up front, obviously, you know, depending on what you've previously talked about, I always want to know what their goals are. If I get someone like, does it cost anything? Like, I get a lot of people who I'll invite them and that's like their first response is, does it cost anything? My response to that specific question is yes, because of everything that you get with it. Like, you get hooked up. Talk to me. What are your goals? And so I try and turn it back on them and get them talking a little more. But if you've been talking a while, they have all of the information, then I kind of have changed up the way that I do it. So I send things in a little bit smaller chunks, so it's not so much at once, and we're able to have little conversations in between each piece to kind of put more value in it and build up more of a hype. But let's see, Jamie, do you have any like other than like getting to know their goals, getting them the other information and putting as much value out there?
Definitely just make sure that they have, like, because people do that all the time. Like, I don't care. I just want to know the cost. But if you just tell someone that they're going to spend $150, $160, they're going to stop talking to you because they have no idea what they're getting. So I know, he's so cute. So definitely just make sure that they know everything they're getting, because otherwise, no, they're going to be like, what do you think I'm going to spend $150 on? I can go join the gym for 10. So I just agree, like, same thing. Yeah.
Okay. And I'll post it in our team page, like how I've been presenting it in the past, probably 2 or 3 weeks. I started presenting it this way, and I've gotten a lot better, a lot more interest. And the only objection I've had, which you cannot run away of, the money objection. Like, some people genuinely do not have the funds to start up, and you have to like understand that. But don't just be like, okay, sounds good. Like, the way that I end it is like, I totally get and respect that. I run these groups every month, so like, I'll keep you in mind for future groups. So they're kind of like expecting, and when I come back and follow up with them, it's not just like random, like, okay, sounds good. Hey, are you ready now? But I will share with how I've been presenting it, so you can kind of see it like in my steps. Did that answer your question, or are you still kind of unsure about that?
No, it did. It's a hard thing to make concrete because every single situation is so different. So I was just curious to get some more ideas.
Yeah, I had someone today, actually, like, I gave them a little bit of information that, you get all these workouts streamed online. You can stream them anywhere. You get access to all the nutrition guides, whatever. And she's like, does this cost anything? And then I like sent another message saying that like the workouts range from super beginner, no impact, all the way up to advanced, like heavy lifting plyometrics. So there's definitely going to be no issue finding a program. And then I'll be like, oh my gosh, I forgot to hit send on that. Yeah, let me get you the price info, just so that I can squeeze that little bit more information out. Little hack.
Yeah.
Kim, what about you? What are you confused on anything else? Ask, like, where'd you go? There you are. It's like, okay. Are you like, what other questions do you have? Did that help you at all, or do you still kind of feel unsure?
Not as bad as it was.
You can talk, Kim, if you're able to. Oh, okay. That's totally fine. Trust me, I was an introvert. I was an introvert when I first started. I share this a lot, that I went an entire year without posting on social media before I started coaching. So this was like a really big step for me. I struggled with depression. I struggled with anxiety. I struggled with like self-love and like wanting to be accepted by everyone. But so that's why it's so important to connect and really be excited about like what you have to offer. You have to know that you have something good to offer. If you don't truly believe that, people are going to feel that. You're not going to be able to put out that excitement. Like, I've had probably at least 5 people in the past month or so message me saying like, oh my gosh, I lost X amount of weight. I had to do like a triple take on the scale. I didn't think I could do this. So you have something awesome to offer people, which is like the first thing that you have to like believe. You really do have like a life-changing opportunity for people with these fitness groups. I didn't know you were a therapist. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's okay to be like sympathetic and empathetic with these people when you're talking to them, get those good conversations going, should be sharing your fitness journey, share your non-scale victories. Do your clothes fit better? Do you feel more comfortable and confident? You don't have to be in a sports bra and spandex doing side-by-sides if that's not what you're comfortable with. I know a lot of people who like don't do that because that's not their thing. And they just talk about how their clothes fit better, how they feel better around their husbands or like walking around the house, and just like sharing that publicly. And then in the conversations, you can start talking about that more because you're posting about it and people hopefully are seeing it. And you can squeeze in that. Are you on any sort of health and fitness journey? If they ask, if you ask them what they do or what their career is, and they ask you in return, you can say, oh, I'm a physical therapist, but I'm a coach on the side to earn extra money, where I've been on my health and fitness journey, and the results so far have been awesome. Are you on any sort of health and fitness journey? So, like little things like that for me anyways, take the pressure off, where it's not so much of like, okay, I'm about to send this invite, send, close the computer, walk away. Like that's what I used to do. And it really does get better over time. Like Jamie and I were talking yesterday, like I wish my coach would have told me not to send cold invites when I first started. Like that's all we did was send cold invites where we had no connections with people. And then we like lost so many people because of it. Also, if you do a free group, I know we've been talking a little bit, you have free groups. That's an easy way to invite them to that free group, because you're not asking them to pay for anything. And then transitioning that, because you've hopefully built some more trust with that. And then, hey, I loved having you in this group. You were so much fun, and I feel like I really got to know you better. I'm going to be running this fitness challenge group with a group of ladies, and I'd love for you to join. Would it be okay if I sent you more info? Like you're asking them if you can. You're not just like blurting all this information to them. Does that help at all? Okay, awesome. Does anyone else have any questions? Like, do you guys feel comfortable, confident, fired up, hopefully fired up? Okay, awesome. This was awesome. I will post the recording in our team page. Again, no call next week. Any questions, message me, message Jamie. Like we are here to help you like really thrive in this business, and we want you to ask questions so that we can help. All right, have a good rest of your, oh, God, let me take a selfie. One sec. Good angle here. Okay, we got it. All right, bye guys, love you all, have a good night.